Happy Monday, everyone. And you know what today is. On Mondays, all roads lead to book club. And so, as you are logging in, let me know what city, what state, what country you are logging in from. My name is Nina Moore, for those of you who may not know me, and I am super excited about today's book club. I absolutely love this time of the week where I get to share in personal growth and development with each and every one of you. So listen, this is the time right now that you've got time to let everybody know that we are live, right? We are live and in living color here on YouTube. I am so happy. So listen, what did y'all do this weekend? Did you have a productive weekend? Did you travel this weekend? Did you stay at home and kick it? Let me know where you're logging in from and what did you do this weekend. If you are brand new to book club and this is your very first time, drop a 1 so that we can celebrate you for being here and we can shout you out. We want to know, do we have any newbies with us today? Now, many of you may be wondering, well, why is book club so important to you, Nina? Now, I've been doing book club now for 5 years. I'm not just one of them people that's jumping on a bandwagon, all right? I've been doing book club for 5 years because I realize how important personal development is. But I also realize that the average person won't even finish one book in a year. And I also realize that not only will the average person will only finish one book in a year, they may not even comprehend or even enjoy the reading. Many people will do it because it's kind of like a forced thing, or they feel like they should have done it, but they don't really comprehend or get anything from the book. I have a gift. And the gift that I have is to help get you into the mind of the author, right? To get you into the mind of the author. And so what I want you to do is, as you're letting us know what city, what state you're logging in from, be sure to go ahead and invite one more person to book club. All right. Invite one more person to book club. Now, let me check one thing as I was waiting on an email back from a special individual, and I did not get a response yet. So, okay, just wanted to make sure before we went any further. I might have had to send a link out to someone. All right, so stay tuned in the next coming weeks because we should have a very special guest on the line with us. So, book club is so important because number one, oh, you know what? I hate when I number things, because when I number things, people think that they are in the order of importance. The numbers have nothing to do with the order of importance, but leaders are readers. And if you desire to lead in any capacity of your life, whether it be your jobs, ministry, business, marriages, your relationships, the head of household, or things like that, you need to understand that leaders are readers. Secondly, you also need to understand that you're never going to earn more than you learn. All right, I want somebody to write that in the comments. Thank you, Tedra Gordon from Georgia. You are never going to earn more than you learn, right? And number 3 or third, what I'm going to say is that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So I am here every single Monday to fill your cup. Go ahead and fill your cup in the comments. Now, listen, I need y'all to put them hashtags in the comments. Y'all know what to do. Y'all know what to do. Let's get those hashtags in the comments. Book Talk, BookTube, and Goodreads. All right, let's get those hashtags in the comments so that we can continue to attract other people who love reading or love books or love personal growth and development just as much as we do. So we are currently reading The Motivation Manifesto by Brendon Burchard. And I don't know about you all, but this book has been what we like to call a 100% jab, uppercut, what do you call it? A throat punch and everything else, right? It's been a gut punch, a throat punch. I mean, literally has had us bent over sometimes, pause, right? From just the gut, the way that we were like kicked in the gut, in a good way, in a way that there's no way that you could read this book and not want to hold yourself accountable. Now, I'm going to preface this book club by saying, every other one moving forward, don't hate the messenger, okay? Don't get mad at me. I am just reading the book to you, for you, with you, and I'm just kind of showing you what the Holy Spirit might be sharing with me while reading the book, and we're actually going to take and break down some of these words when we need to get a more clearer understanding, a more in-depth understanding about what we're reading. So we are now moving into section 2, which is the 9 declarations, the Motivation Manifesto, the 9 declarations to claim your personal power. Is there anyone, and I know all of you who traveled to Atlanta this weekend to attend our prayer vision experience. Thank you to every single one of you, but I know that you're on fire, and I already know that you are ready to level up. But for those of you who may not have attended this weekend, maybe you watched it virtually, or maybe you just attend book clubs with us. Maybe you hit or miss, but you're here today. Are you ready? Are you ready to claim your personal power? Well, we're getting ready to go over our 9 declarations, and declaration number 1 is that we shall meet life with full presence and power. We shall meet life with full presence and power. Your true home is the here and the now. Your true home is the here and the now. Your true home is the what? The here and the now. So that means we can't focus on what happened behind us. We can't even, although we should have goals and we should set goals, we can't be so focused on the future that you miss the now. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Because too often we're so focused on what we're going to do in the future that we miss living in the now. All right. So your true home is in the here and the now. And affliction is stealing joy from the world's people, poisoning what was meant to be a divinely inspired experience of freedom. It is a haunting absence from the present moment. So what is happening? The world literally is poisoning people, poisoning us to not allow us to be present in the moment. As a matter of fact, I would love for every single one of you to take a deep breath right now. Hold it, and then and what happens when you do that? When you take a deep breath, you hold it, and then you exhale slowly, is that you realize that you really aren't even breathing. You're literally just existing. Just going to work. Sean Dunnigan, hello. Going to work, getting up. It's like Groundhog Day in your life. Repeating the same things over and over and over again. As a matter of fact, on your drive to work, if you got to drive a new way, you're angry. If you can't get to the grocery store the same way you would normally get there, you're mad. Don't let there be a detour, because we're operating, we're just existing. We're just existing. Paul just said, I used to be that way. Never, ever. Don't let something different happen, because if something different happens, you're not able to pivot. Take a deep breath, hold it in, and breathe out slow. And you'll realize that you're not even breathing. That you're not expanding your lungs to its full capacity, because you're just ready to take the next breath. Breathe. Too many have checked out of their bodies and of their lives. They are not attuned to the energy and the circumstances around them, nor do they understand their responsibilities to those things in this very moment. What is this just saying? We have a responsibility to this very moment. Think about the song, This Magic Moment. Bum, ba, da, da, bum, bo, right? Ba, da, 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 da. This magic moment. Like, take a moment right now to think about this moment. Where are you? What are you doing? In the moment. Don't have your mind on what's on the stove, what's in the refrigerator, what do you have to do when you get off of here. Many of you are not even present on book club, scrolling on Facebook and on book club, TV on, radio's on, sending out text messages. You're not present in the now. So you'll spend an hour in book club, get off, and tomorrow won't even remember anything that happened because you're not present in the moment. So they are not attuned to the energy or the circumstances around them, nor do they understand their responsibilities to do to those things in this very moment. They have little awe or reverence for the blessings around them, acting as if they preferred to be somewhere else, as if they were mentally living in distant time zones, hours behind or ahead of the joyous tick and the bliss of now. Their life force thus seems detached and dissipated, their lives unaccounted for and unlived. So we're living, but our lives are unaccounted for and are unlived. That's pretty deep. That we're living unlived lives. We dare to take a risk. We dare to take a leap of faith. We dare to start the business. We dare to profess or proclaim that we are healed, happy, whole. We dare to proclaim that we are wealthy and living in abundance. Because it's almost like we don't want to let go of our binky. We don't want to let go of our limp. Because with the limp, we receive a different kind of empathy. And we would rather stay in an empathetic place to not live. You know, I remember when I was going through a divorce, and I pray that this doesn't offend anybody. But I realized I wasn't the first person to go through a divorce, and I certainly wasn't going to be the last. And when I realized that I had done all that I could, and that there was nothing else that I could have done, and to not blame myself anymore, and to forgive myself, you know what? I was really ready to move. I was really able, rather, to move on. I was a teen mom, and I realized that I wasn't the first teenager to have a baby, nor was I the last teenager. As a matter of fact, the first teenagers to have babies weren't even in the 80s and the 90s like they tried to make it seem like it was actually back in slavery time. Because, you know, they used to get pregnant at like 12 and 13, right? Back in the day. In forced marriages. Sometimes not in marriages. But I realized I wasn't the first, and I certainly wasn't going to be the last. And I stopped plaguing myself. So their life force thus seems detached and dissipated, their lives unaccounted for and unlived, their souls a world away. You're sitting somewhere and your soul is a world away. The majority of humanity seems lost in the abyss of unawareness. The hollow and glazed eyes of so many reveal it all. Minds trapped in the dark, unfeeling hinterlands of distraction and thoughtlessness. They are not sleeping, but they are not conscious. They are not sleeping, but they are not conscious. They are not sleeping, but they are not conscious. They're not alert. They're not purposeful. They are buzzed, out on coffee, but without awareness, there is no real center of energy. There's no grounding, no vibrant feel for the now. I need every single one of you to type in now in the comments. Type in the word now. How many people are on here live? So we should see 30 nows. If you're present, then you'll know what I just asked you to do, and we should see 30 nows come up on the screen. Unless you're driving. Unless you're driving. Now, life is not meant to be a long series of unfelt, undirected experiences. We are not to be zombies and slaves, unconscious animals, trapped in dumbness to the moment, leading mindless and powerless lives. Lord have mercy, y'all. This is just the first page of the second part of this book. We are not intended to be inattentive to our loved ones and the duties of life or the dreams in our hearts. I am really at the point, Paul, I used to cry when I looked at people. I remember when I started my career in network marketing and I was doing meetings all around the world, Lima, Peru, Australia, all parts of Australia, in the Bahamas, in the UK. And as I'm looking and gazing into people's eyes, and I realize that somewhere along life's road, people really took their dreams and put them in the back of the closet in a box. Like the clothes that's too small for them, and they just decide one day I'm going to get back in them. And the one day is never day. Because we stop dreaming because we believe that we can't achieve the dream if we don't have money, or if we don't have a certain degree, or we aren't in a certain network, then we can't dream. But you got to start somewhere. And it doesn't matter what age you are either. I used to think that I'm 50. Wow. When I remember when I turned 50 and now I'm 52. And once I turned 50, I thought that I had missed the boat. And I had to repent quickly because I thought that I had missed the boat. But I realized I'm living my best life. I don't know about y'all, but I'm living my best life, right? Ain't going back and forth with nobody. I am living my best life as I am learning new skill sets, as I am learning new frequencies, as I'm learning more about myself. I am living my best life. And you could be too. We are not intended to be inattentive. Should we wish to be free and alive with full power, we must decide to bring the full might of our conscious mind to the present experience. We must choose to feel again. We must sense this life. I want every single one of you to type in the comments, feel again. We got to choose it. That you're not just going to work and now here's the deal. I said it this weekend at our event. Yeah, we got to work. That's your job though. That's not your work. You go to your job to do what's necessary, but then you do your work when you're done. We have to choose to feel again so that we can sense this life. Let us remember that all that we love of life can be accessed only now. When can it be accessed? Now, right now. All that we love of life, all we seek is here with us, available to us in this moment. What you need is available to you in this moment. You lack nothing. You want to be healed? Boom, you're healed in this moment. Oh, wow, so cool. You want to be healed? Your heart was broken? You can be healed in this moment because all you've got to do is say, I am healed and I'm going to live in this moment, and I'm not going to allow another day to go by where I'm sad and depressed and I'm not living my life because I'm looking at the present circumstance. Everything in our lives happens for a reason, and we are going to access the power that is within us, and we're going to learn to dream and to live again and to feel again and to love again. But the love starts with loving ourselves. All we seek is here with us and available to us in this moment. All the real riches, the love, the passion, the joy, the satisfaction, the harmony are available now on the menu of the mind, available for us to savor should we awake and order them. Wake up. Comment it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Wake up and place the order, because it's on the menu of your mind. What do you want? I give you permission right now to take up your bed and walk. And I give you permission today to choose life, to feel again, to love again, to dream again. I give you permission right now to heal again. And I give you permission to forgive yourself. Take up your bed and say, I'm not staying in this place. Wake up. Wake up and give yourself permission to order from the menu of your mind. What is it that you want today? What is it that you want right now in this season? You're not a failure. You're not a failure. You might have failed a million times, but you're not a failure. Wake up. All that we seek to become is also here. We can choose what role we want to play and how we want to direct our lives' energies in each moment. Should we learn to direct our awareness and power in all we do, then discontent shall disappear and a vital energy will return. I am telling y'all right now, if you go ahead and understand that we're the captain of the ship, you're looking for your energy to return. Your healing is in your energy. What you want is in the energy. And you've got it trapped up inside of you because you want to stay down. You want to be despondent. You want to think about, everything that's wrong. Well, what about everything that's right? Doesn't everything that's right outweigh the few things that might be wrong? You might have $5 in your bank account right now. You might have $5 in your bank account right now. Lord, I praise you for this $5. I don't know where the rest is going to come from. And I'm not broke, God. I know I'm just experiencing a cash flow issue. But it's coming. Lord, give me creative and witty ideas. Lord, give me the power to say yes, to take risk, to seek opportunity, and then to seize it when I'm offered it. Stop just sitting there, squandering and allowing yourself to sit like the leper right outside the gate who was already healed. And you're sitting there in your stool. You're sitting there in your urine. You're sitting there acting crippled when our healing and our growth is in the energy. And it will return. We will sense a vibrancy unfathomable to most men and women of this earth. For this, let us declare this. We shall meet life with full presence and power. We shall meet life with full presence and power. Because we will sense a vibrancy that's unfathomable. When I tell y'all I am expecting the great in 2025, and I'm not just saying that, like, I am expecting the great in 2025. Because I don't know about y'all. I'm going to earn 20 million in investments. I'm going to earn it. And the people connected to me, they're going to do the same. I don't know what their number is. I know what my number is. The half experienced life. So much of our lives goes unnoticed. We miss the sunrises and the sunsets. We didn't sense how we're feeling for hours and often days at a time. We didn't see the kind stranger help the elderly man across the street. We missed that appreciative smile on our spouse's face. We didn't sense our coworker's desperation because we never paused to look her in the eye and ask her about her day. Locked indoors and hidden behind machines, we missed the entire season. The winter passed and we didn't play in the snow. The spring bloomed and we overlooked the flowers. The summer and the fall passed so quickly, and we don't even remember the trees changing or feel satisfied with the time that we spent outside. Each day, there are a million divine wonders, acts of human kindness, and beautiful sights, yet we are too checked out or busy thinking about yesterday or tomorrow to even sense the magic. Woo! We're too checked out. We're too bummed about what we haven't done. We're too bummed about how old we are. We're too bummed about how fat we are. We're too bummed about how big our nose is. We're too bummed about the relationship that didn't last. We're too bummed about it. To think about the fact that I woke up today. And because you woke up today, you are not done. Period. You're not done. You are not done. We made financial mistakes. So what? We've all done it. None of us are in the place that we should be in with all of the money that's come through our hands. So what? God gave us another chance. And because you woke up today, you are not done. We mustn't be so numb or absent-minded as to allow ourselves to suffer the fate and misery of those choosing a half-interest, half-engaged life. We mustn't stay oblivious to the key moments and circumstances of our lives. There is more pulse and beauty and meaning to be had. With enlightenment comes realization that the natural foe to the life is not a distant death, but a detachment from living. Some of you are worse than the people that are in the grave. Because you're detached from living. Reality is only here now, and we must learn to face it. We must learn to feel it, and we must learn and form it. The present is all there is. The present is all there is. Motivation in life itself cannot be sensed separate from now. Without bringing our full consciousness to the moment, we became slave to impulse or tired inclination, subservient to our base conditioning that tends to lean toward ease and fear rather than growth and freedom. From this space of disengagement emerges all that we disdain: the barely present parent, the half-hearted lover, the unfocused student, and the absent leader. It is time to become more alert and engaged in the world. As the next moments of our lives unfold, we can choose to pay more attention to how we feel, to how others feel, to the blessings all around us. We can give others to the full beam of our focus and affection. We can open our hearts, minds, and spirits to what the universe whispers to us. We can choose once more to be in this very moment, open and free and alive. I choose to be present in this moment, free, alive. Choose it. I choose ye this day life, and I choose life more abundantly. I choose it. That is so powerful. We can choose once more to be in this very moment, open and free, alive. Our only enemy in this effort is ourselves. To gain greater presence, we will need to overcome our habit of living in the past or future, and will need to become more aware of the roles and the responsibilities that we can choose each day and every moment as free, conscious, and motivated people. The reason most of us lack vitality is that we are unconsciously or obsessively directing our minds to the past or the future at the expense of fully living now. I don't know what's going to happen when I turn 60. I don't know. I got to be focused on what's going on right now when I'm getting ready to turn 53. I don't know if there's going to be Social Security and all of those things. I don't know. But what I know is that I can do the things that I'm learning right now to invest so that I could do what? Secure a future for us. So we can all secure futures for ourselves so that we don't have to be worried about Social Security and Medicaid. Life cannot be sensed a day before or a day ahead. We must learn to release our habits of nostalgia and observe projection and recenter our lives in the moment. Well, I remember when I used to, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what we used to do as it was. Nobody cares. And I'm talking to me. I am not constantly reminding people of what I used to was and what I used to do. Because nobody cares. What are you doing right now? What kind of leader are you right now? Why don't you have any influence right now? Why won't people follow you right now? If you used to was, you were so big and bad, then what are you doing right now? A good business friend of mine, business partner of mine, always says, if you are who you are, show it. Show us. If you are who you say you are, rather, prove it. Prove it. The yakety 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 yak. Prove it. So we must learn to release our habits of nostalgia. We begin by releasing the past. Release the past. Put it in the comments. Release the past. There is very little use in thinking about yesterday or the days before it unless recounting its joys or looking for its lessons that may help us now. It is best to release the past entirely. All else comes at a dire effect to our joy and freedom in the moment. This work is difficult. Most people have become addicted to obsessing about their past, either wishing for its return or blaming its frustration in their lives today. I'm not going back to my past because the Bible says only a dog returns to its vomit. Only a dog returns to the stuff that was inside of you that comes out. Like only a dog goes back to that. Why would anybody want to go back to the past? Unless it's to say, oh, I learned a lesson from X, Y, and Z. Oh, I remember that because it taught me this. Not to reminisce. I'm not reminiscing on who I was and how much money I made. Where is it now? Where is it now? Where is it now? So all else comes at a dire effect to our joy and freedom in the moment. This work is difficult, right? The cost that they cannot be the cost is that they cannot be spontaneous. They are acting from an identity that is but a glorified or terrorized mental reflection. Where is your spontaneity? What is wrong that everything you do has to be thought out, processed? We got to pray about it. You can't just make the move. What happened to spontaneity? Some of you are where you are right now because you take too long to make a decision. Successful people make the decision. Boom, just like that. They figure, okay, if the decision was wrong, oh well. Because when you understand that you're not a failure and you never fail, you're not a failure, rather, that you have failures, you're not a failure. Management is taught, and I was taught that as a manager as well. They would rather you make a decision than to not make one at all. Could it be you are where you are because, oh, you know what? I'm going to get back to you. Let me think. Oh, okay. By the time you think about it, we done replaced you with 3, 4, 5, 10 people. 10 other people who are willing to say yes. The cost is that they cannot be spontaneous. Spontaneity is the hallmark of a free person, and no person stuck thinking about yesterday, positively or negatively, can be truly liberated in the moment. Let me tell y'all something. Yes, I make decisions without talking to Paul because I can't always wait for him. Y'all, some of y'all gonna catch that. And guess what? He trusts me enough to make the right decision and vice versa. So you don't understand. I'm not waiting on Paul. Let me go talk to Paul. No, I'll make the decision. I'll have a conversation with him and let him know why I made the decision. Okay. But I hate it when, let me go talk to, because somewhere along the way, you either talking lame to me or somewhere along the way, you've breached the trust. But my husband knows that I'm going to make a good decision or the best decision at that moment. And guess what? Even if the decision is the wrong decision, guess what? We take the L together and we try again. Some of y'all going to catch that later. Spontaneity is the hallmark of a free person. Some will say it is just an excuse, Miss Brenda. She said it's an excuse. Some will say, but I liked yesterday more than today. I'd rather focus on the glory days and remember who I was than face who I am today. This is the statement of a person who has resigned their personal power. They have become a collection of walking memories rather than a mission-driven human. You know, Miss Brenda Morgan, 77 years old, brought herself to Atlanta yesterday morning at like 7-something in the morning. She was here way too early, but she got here. And then her flight didn't leave out until 10 o'clock last night. But let me tell you something. The fact that at 77 years young, she decided she takes these adventures because she's going to live her life while she's here. And she said, I know that I'm on the other side of life right now, but while I can still move, I'm going to enjoy my life, is what she says. Some of y'all going to catch that. Some of y'all going to catch that. This is a statement of a person who's resigned their personal power. They have become a collection of walking memories rather than a mission-driven human. They are now weak-willed and unambitious, wasted in a perpetual memory that prevents their real life from progressing. Life will continue to be a reminiscent myth unless they discover that their only path out of the past lies in the very day before them. The only path out of the past lies in the very day before them. Maybe your path out of the past lies in what you do today. What will bring motivation and glory to their lives once more is a new mental discipline of bringing their focus back to the moment and being authentic and active today. Without such conscious ambition and attention, only a negative circumstance can right them. A catastrophe or severe need might pop them from the past and help them refocus on now. We should hope such jarring will be unnecessary, and they will simply choose to re-engage with their current life because it will make them happy and alive once more. If we revisit the past for brief and joyous recollections, let us be sure to take note of what exactly made us happy. We will see that happiness came from the moments in which we were vitally aware. So instead of being so caught up, this is what this is saying. Instead of being so caught up in the things we used to do, what this says is think about what it was that made you happy. Think about what you were doing that made you happy and do more of that in the present, in the right now. You can't stay stuck on what happened for you before. But whatever it was, so just like I tell people all the time in business, if you're seeing your business not at a place where you desire your business to be, then you got to look at what were you doing in your business that was bringing you success. And you reflect on that and you do more of what was bringing you success. Boy, the rain is falling all of a sudden. It just came from nowhere. All right. So where are we at? We should hope that if we revisit the past, we will see happiness come from the moments in which they virtually are aware something was happening. All right. If we revisit the past for brief and joyous recollections, then we will see that happiness came from those moments in which we were vitally aware. Something was happening, and we noticed it with awe or appreciation. There was beauty, surprise, pleasure, passion, fun, love, and peace. Perhaps all of these in a glorious span of moments. The world came into sharp focus for an instant. Meaningless things faded away, and meaningful things enlarged and drew our eyes. There was authenticity and freshness to the experience. There was oneness with the moment. We became alert and connected to something positive. And that is why we can easily recall it, because you are thinking about what was positive, what made you happy, what made you feel good. You can recall it because of how it made you feel, happy or sad. Good memories can be celebrated, but let us not forget that even in the house of happiness, a positive past can become an unwanted guest, preventing us from the day's activities and freedom. Even though we have these positive associations, let us not drift too long in our minds at the cost of missing those very things that are accessible to us right here and now. What made us happy was awareness of the moment. Let us not forget that. Let us use this knowledge as a life practice and come back to now with full vibrancy. Others think of the past and say, but I hate the past. It is the cause of all of my problems today. They direct obsessive energies to looking backward with a sneer and a pointed finger. They would rather not think of the past, and yet they do, because they have mentally tied the thick rope of resentment around old situations. Goodness gracious. Despite time and the changing world, they are still bitter about an old upset, frightful of an old fear, victim to an old situation. They are now the angry person, the whining victim, or the regretful philosopher. It is very easy to become one of these people because our past has shaped us so much, but we must not. Any dirt or carnage of yesterday belongs nowhere near now, but rather in the dustbin of history, where we need not rummage about. Dwelling on the past injuries only leaves us dispirited and torn from the moment. If yesterday's hardships are stealing our aliveness today, then we must seek another level of consciousness. For some, this will require therapy to work through. For most, it will at the very least require diligence in immediately releasing negative thoughts and instead choosing to ask, what can I focus on in my life at this exact moment to sense some peace, appreciation, or enthusiasm? What kind of person and what kind of experience do I want to choose to manifest right now? To those who have such presence of mind belong a life that is connected, real, and positive. Forgetting tomorrow. Many people are checked out of today because they are thinking about tomorrow. For some, there is a secret fear that tomorrow will be worse than today. They lie awake stewing on the hardships that tomorrow might bring. Their fears about the future rip them from the blessings of the moment. Others are concerned that tomorrow won't be worse, but rather no different at all. They think, why can't my life be more exciting? Tomorrow is just going to be another day, another dollar, just another replay of the same old routine. The sad reality is that unless they learn to grip their present experience with a renewal fervor, they are correct. Now, how does a person expect for life to be any different and you won't even leave a house? How does a person expect for life to be any different? You won't even go meet new friends. How does anyone expect life to be any different? You won't even go to a networking event. You won't go, like, well, how do you expect for your life to be any different, but you choose to do nothing different? How? How? Woo! Still others look to the future in a different way. They are the daydreamers, lost in positive musings about what is possible for them. They often sit at their desk and let their mind drift into visions of tomorrow, and nothing brings them back but a phone call or a knock at the door. Tragically, their feet rarely land in now. They are always wishing on a star, but not working here on earth to enjoy the experience or progress their lives. So some people are so heavenly bound, they ain't no earthly good. That's what that means. That you're so far into la la land that you're not even on the earth at all. Just like with the past, there is nothing wrong with journeying into the future if it brings joy or instruction. But that journey must be brief and never come at the expense of owning the hour. Plan and dream when those things are called for, yes, but don't disconnect from the magic and the tasks and people at hand. A better future can be imagined for segments of time, but it is only in this time that a better future can be built. You don't build your future in the future. You build your future in the now. You don't wait until you get there to build it. What you're doing right now, today, is for your future. You do it in the now, regardless of their memories or their dreams for tomorrow. The masters of this life are always bringing their focus back to this very moment. They live serenely in the now, benefiting from yesterday without yearning for it, hopeful for tomorrow, but not obsessing over it. They are vigilant in directing their attentions and affections to their immediate circumstances and the people surrounding them. They frequently ask themselves, is my mind alert now? Am I noticing and fully sensing what is around me and taking it all in? Am I feeling this life? Am I directing my full power to what is in front of me and what matters? Or are we avoiding reality? Because some among us haven't the strength to ask such questions, preferring the easy escape from life, that is avoidance. They prefer to turn away from the responsibilities or the circumstances right in front of them. They remove themselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually from the now. Since engaging would involve hardship and unflinching self-examination. You know, we did an exercise. We did an exercise at the event this weekend with a mirror. And everyone had to look in that mirror at the end of the event. And there were some people that had a very, very difficult time looking in that mirror. And not because it was tiny. I don't know what in the world they sent me them little tiny mirrors. And it was too late for me to order the next size. We got what we got. But we got the picture. There were some people that had a very, very difficult time actually looking in the mirror. Virginia, they had a hard time. Immediately, some people was almost to tears looking in the mirror. You were forced to take a look at yourself, at what you haven't accomplished, at what you said you were going to accomplish. Self-examination. This is the man, because we can't be the person that avoids. We can't be that person. So now, since engaging would involve hardship and unflinching self-examination, it does cause hardship. It does cause where you got to say, okay, I'm going to have to take this one to the gut. This is the man who avoids listening to his wife's request because it will require him to remove himself from the couch. The leader who avoids the meeting because she would have to face the fact that her business is failing. The student who goes out on a town rather than completing a difficult assignment. The man with a medical condition who refuses to go to the hospital because it might mean something is very wrong with his body and death is drawing near. To the immature or unconscious person, it feels sane to avoid the hardships that life thrusts at them. It makes sense to remove their attention from circumstances that bring discomfort. It's easier to stop doing the hard task right in front of them, to disperse their attention onto multiple easier tasks. It is tempting to check out, to run, and to hide. But in doing so, we avoid life itself. The casualty is our own presence and power. When we lack the courage, our discipline to address what we must, our presence is never wielded and honed, and so life becomes devoid of feeling and happiness. Avoidance may be the best short-term strategy to avoid pain and conflict, but it is also the best long-term strategy to ensure suffering. And I know we want to avoid suffering at any cost. But suffering, my dears, is a part of the process. All things must be dealt with, and now is the time to begin. If a difficult conversation awaits with one spouse, then the conversation should be had this day. If the business is in peril, then do not go on vacation or miss the meetings. Get to work fixing the issues at hand. If the paper is due, begin writing. If the body is sick, go to the doctor. Any other action is avoidance. And where there is avoidance, there can ultimately be no peace or no progress. Free and motivated people do not neglect reality. They meet difficulty with attention, seeing these as opportunities to test their faith, strength, and love, knowing that life is full of strife, but trusting in themselves and their path, they seek to handle whatever life demands of them. Directly and swiftly through practice, they learn to find comfort in the uncomfortable and true mastery in life. We can learn from them. Let us never look hardship in the face and run. To do so is to tear ourselves from this world and this time, and to relinquish our growth and contributions in life. Let us always remember that in addressing our pain and fear, we gain mastery over them. In meeting challenge rather than avoiding it, we find success. In meeting fate's well-paced opportunities for growth, we become favored. And so let us ask ourselves, what should I finally face in my life? What truths or realities are preventing my growth and happiness? What could I do about it right now? How can I better connect with the moment so that I can so that I can master what the hour demands of me? Begin fully present in life. Being fully present in life not only means being observant and unfailing in addressing our realities, but also deciding to proactively choose our roles and behaviors each day. In any given moment, we can play one or a combination of 5 vital roles. And inattention to these possible roles leads to a life without intention. But bringing our awareness to them helps us to activate our full personal power in each moment. It brings purpose to our minds and activities, and purpose is the greatest bridge to now. I don't know about y'all, but the moment that you understand your purpose, the moment that you understand the thing that you would do, whether you were getting paid to do it or not, like I don't get paid to do this. But I would do this because I know one of my purposes is to help you become the best version of yourself. If you want to, because I'm not dragging nobody along. It's funny, my mom was here the other day and she said, that's one of your greatest gifts is that you're going to help somebody get to the promised land, but you ain't dragging nobody to the promised land, because I ain't got time for that. Because I had to drag myself out of that pit. I'm not standing around to drag you out of the pit. But if you want to go to the promised land, I'm taking you with me. I'm taking you with me if you're living in the now. And Zara put a snore on that. The first role we can play in our lives is observer or the conscious viewer. This is the role and responsibility we are charged with through the gift of self-awareness. And as observer, we can float about our reality and view the totality of who we are in life and the minutia of how we are acting and reacting in the very moment. It is not a detachment from ourselves or the moment, but rather a careful observance of it. Those who have mastered this role can make a decision and almost simultaneously evaluate whether or not it is the right decision. They can sense themselves doing, feeling, and thinking things and know if things are authentic. They notice when they are making poor decisions, being rude to others, forgetting something important. They are vitally aware of themselves. They can sense a conflict brewing and feel their anger lifting, yet choose not to act on the anger. It is as though they have an internal dialogue. Oh, I see that I am becoming upset about this situation. Why am I reacting this way right now? Will anger serve me in this moment? If I were responding to at my highest self, what would I say and do right now? We can learn to master this role by practicing self-examination several times throughout the day. We can ask ourselves, if I stopped and hovered about my life, what do I see my life doing? And why do I think I am doing that? Why am I feeling what I'm feeling right now? What result will happen from my current actions and intentions? What is it that I can sense that my mind, body, and spirit truly feel and desire right now? Need and desire right now. When we grasp this idea of sensing ourselves, we become more connected to ourselves and our lives. This must be our goal. So, are you going to be the observer? Then we're going to talk about being the director. I think I'm going to stop right here because there's a lot more to this chapter. And I don't want to, we're very, very close to 7:00, but I believe, we will finish next week. So we'll start with the director, as we are going to, I don't know about y'all, but we shall meet life with full presence and power. That was one of the very powerful statements of this part 2, the 9 declarations. We are in the 9 declarations, and declaration 1 is that we shall meet life with full presence and power. All right. So we'll start the rest of declaration number 1 when we meet again next Monday. And then we go on to declaration number 2, which is we shall reclaim our agenda. Declaration number 2 is that we shall reclaim our agenda. All right. Declaration number 2. Ralph Waldo Emerson says the day is always his who works with serenity and great aims. I don't know about y'all, but this book is blessing me. This was so good today. All right. It was fire. So if you enjoyed today's book club part 2, which is the first declaration of power, right? We read the first declaration of power, and part 2 is we shall meet life with full presence and power as we live in the now. And yes, this weekend at our yesterday at our prayer vision experience, literally the word for the day was now. Now, that God can do things in the now, that we've got time to finish things in the now. We've got time to end the year strong. We're not just focused on 2025. Yes, we're going into 2025, but we're running through the tape, right? As we're finishing strong, because we still got a lot to accomplish. The month is not over. All right. So I hope that you enjoyed today. If you did, drop some fire and flames in the chats, y'all. I pray that every single one of you will be able to join us next year. All right. We're going to make sure we start selling those tickets in October, right? For the first week of December. And you're just going to remember that it's the first week of December and that you need to be present. All right. That you need to be present. Hopefully the way that the way that the calendar sets itself up next year, because I don't really like doing it on a Sunday. All right. I would really prefer to do it on a Saturday. And we're going to try to go back to our Saturdays. All right. So just stay tuned, because we're going to make sure that the event is posted by October next year, so that we can get in front of the holidays, and so that we're still not, Tedra, going to max out. We're not doing more than 50 people. We're going to make sure that we keep it still under 50 people to keep it as intimate as possible. And so I don't know about you all, but book club is so important to me. And literally this book, it just couldn't have come at a better time for where we are in life right now with what's taking place in the world. And just know that I want you to make sure that you are subscribed to this YouTube channel. All right. Make sure that you are subscribed to this YouTube channel. And then because you want to make sure that you get all of the alerts when we actually go live on the channel. And then we need to be connected on all of the social media platforms. So make sure you're connected with me on Instagram, right, at The Real Nina Moorer. And then you want to make sure, and that is my one and only page on Facebook. All right. Oh, we've got the Moorer Experience page as well, where we would love for you guys to go and post, or go ahead and follow the Moorer Experience. We'll make sure that we get that pinned up here as well. We also want you to follow on Facebook at Nina Rochelle Moorer. As you can see, it's right there on the screen. Follow me on Facebook, and then again on TikTok, right? And my names are pretty consistent on every platform. You're either going to see Nina Moorer, Nina Rochelle Moorer, or the Wellness Queen, right? Because I am consistent on all platforms. And make sure you subscribe to my website as well, because we give a free gift when you subscribe to NinaMorer.com. NinaMorer.com. Listen, you guys, we've got an amazing over $1,000 giveaway in cash and trips and prizes that we've got heading at the top of the year. So if someone invited you to look at this book club, make sure you get back to them so that you could get in our fit and funded. We're gonna make sure that we're starting the top of the year, January 1st, with our 10-day detox challenge. We're gonna give away $500. We're gonna give away $250. We're gonna give away trips and things, right? And all kinds of things. And so you definitely want to make sure that you're getting in. And if you're a friend of mine or you're here because of me, you better send me a message and get in that DM or messenger so that we can get you your pack sent out. And listen, the Postal Service right now is just not operating at its finest, okay? So the reason why we're making sure those packs go out right now, you can even use Afterpay or any other split pay option, is because the Postal Service is not being very, very kind, okay? They're not letting us, they don't want us to be great. And we want to make sure that you get your product, because we can't hold off the contest because you didn't get your pack because you wait too late to get it, all right? So get your packs now and join into our 10-day detox challenge. And I want you to enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be kind to one another. Do a good deed. Pay it forward. Be nice to somebody this week, right? You don't know that your hug, your smile, you're buying them lunch, buying them a cup of coffee, a bottle of water, something. You don't know what that little bit of kindness might do to someone, because it might be their very last and you might be blessing them. If you're going through a toll, pay for the toll for the person in back of you, right? But let's treat other people the way we desire to be treated. And always remember this, that God loves you. I love you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I'll see you next Monday. Good night and God bless you.